Welcome back to The Price of Business this Monday. So you know who's here? Chris Kidd. He's here. He's with chriskidd, KIDD.com. He's a financial coach, financial advisor. Really helps take people to the next level when it comes to their financial situation. Working a lot in the sports arena, and which is among the reason why we're having fun bringing you sports and sports business related stories. And today he's brought an old acquaintance of mine. I'm very glad to see it. It's really interesting how small the world is, you know, and how interesting it is that we're always able to reconnect. I always like to say that Houston is the biggest small town in the world, and that continues to be proven in stories like today. But tell us a little bit about chriskidd.com, Chris, and the work you do before you introduce our guests.
Well, chriskidd.com is just my website where people can go find out about me, get some financial advice, check out some of the new things that I've got coming out, and whatnot. And as far as coaching, I basically teach people how to become better investors, how to handle their money in better ways so that they can get more out of it.
Very good. And your guest?
My guest today is Ashley Black. She is a fasciologist. I would kind of say miracle worker, possibly. And she works with a lot of pretty much all the professional athletes that have been through Houston, but she deals with a lot of the professional athletes and also people in the entertainment industry. And she does some amazing stuff that we're going to have her explain because I don't know how it works, but it's pretty cool. I
do want to mention before she gets started that her former partner who passed away in 2007, I believe, Dan Hoyt, and I were friends, and she was partners, business partners with Dan, and just incredible how really how small the world is. And he was a phenomenal influence, a great individual, a great influence not only in the business arena but in the political arena. I loved his values and his beliefs, and we enjoyed that in common. And so good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And feel free to talk as bold as you want into that microphone and tell us about what all the things that people are going to find over at ashleyblacksystems.com. Go right ahead.
Well, the main thing that I'm working on right now is just trying to impact more lives. You know, I'm a manual therapist, so I've always had in my career where, you know, how many bodies can I touch? And then you think, well, let me hire and train some people. So, you know, we've had up to 72 people at a time, but you still are limited in the reach. And because of my personal experiences, I just want to help people. So I've invented a product that now anyone can go and buy and treat themselves and, you know, kind of get the same type of therapy that, you know, the pro athletes and the celebrities get, except for they can do it in the privacy of their shower at home.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Chris?
Well, I know a lot of people are probably saying, what is fasciology and how did you get into that? I know you got a near-death experience that you can share with us as well, but how did all of this come about?
It's sort of a long story, but to cut directly to the chase, about 15 years ago, I just happened to be the unlucky recipient of a deadly flesh-eating bacteria in my bone system, and it, within 24 hours, had eroded most of the right side of my pelvis, a good chunk of my right leg, and then my spine collapsed. So everyone out there with back pain, hip pain, knee pain, I feel ya. And I was left with really no solutions. I left the hospital in a wheelchair with a morphine pump in my leg, you know, the whole 60 Minutes type story. But I decided that wasn't good enough and I was going to go figure something out, and that's exactly what I did. And I started studying the soft tissue system and used my background as an athlete to learn new ways to strengthen. And here we are 15 years later, and I've been doing that with clients. By
the way, to see Ashley, there's no way on earth that you believe that story is true. And, I mean, she doesn't even limp. There's not even a slight limp.
I even have on my heels today.
No one's going to believe it. It's incredible, though. But if you go to our website, ashleyblacksystems.com, go to the About page and look at the backstory. You can see examples, and the story of what took place here. Tell me what this is an image of here.
Well, we're looking at a picture of my hip, I believe, which is a nice metal rod. I had a full replacement about a decade ago, and yeah.
It's incredible.
It's a lot. It is a lot. I mean, I have to, just so you know, I do a lot to maintain it. The things that I'm teaching my clients and all the things that I teach the pro sports athletes, these are things that I do to myself. Mm-hmm. I think when you've had an injury that severe, or if you've ever had a surgery, or even if you've had something prolonged, there's a certain amount of daily care that you need to put into your injuries. So I definitely am my own patient. So unfortunately, I know it from the inside out. So.
Very interesting. Chris?
This is definitely amazing, because somebody that, what you just described, and the visual picture that somebody would get, seeing you here, you're in good shape. Not only are you seem to be fine, but you're teaching other people how to overcome stuff. Well, what kind of injuries and things have you helped some of the athletes with?
Well, I've literally seen everything. In our clinics that we had, even here in Houston, we saw everything from the run-of-the-mill, plantar fasciitis and turf toe from our pro football players, to migraines, to, full body pains and things like that. So what we're looking at, though, is a different part of the soft tissue system. And I know this is a business show, so people are like, what? The soft tissue? Let me tell you what I mean. There is a system called fascia, and anyone out there, Houston, you're meat eaters, so I can talk about meat. When you look under the skin of fried chicken, you can see a white, silky membrane. Okay, so we have that in our bodies. And then think about some ribs. Okay, when you go to pull the rib off the bone and you see this cobweb-looking connective tissue, that is the connective tissue that I'm working with. And if we could dissect everything out of a human body except for the fascia, we would look like one big mummy of cotton candy filled with this connective tissue. And it's just very understudied. It's very misunderstood. But if you understand how that system affects everything else, then you can do things with the body that people just don't get. You can trace ACL tear all the way back to, someone who broke their ankle when they were 5 years old, that kind of thing.
So you work a lot with athletes. Tell me about typically how they end up getting to you for you to work with them, because of the fact it is so understudied, it's so really esoteric compared to what's common out there, for it. I'm assuming that there's been a whole lot of things that didn't work that gets them to the point coming to your door. That's
right. It's one of two things. Either they've tried everything else, and I'm the last stop to Pittsburgh, which is normally when I get called by an agent to do a fly out and go to someone's hometown. But here in Houston, we actually have been here long enough that we were able to do pregame prep. So even if someone didn't have an injury, they would come in just to, get loose and get stretched out and get prepared for the game.
And develop a regimen to prevent injury that would relate to that. That's right.
And it's interesting because I've seen a huge shift over the past 15 years. 15 years ago, no one was doing anything like this. And then it becomes where people start getting massages, and they start going to acupuncture, and they start getting, a chiropractor and that sort of thing. And then we sort of merge in with all of that. It's just one more piece of the puzzle that helps keep players, at the top of their game.
Very interesting. We've got to wrap it up here in just a moment, but I do want to encourage people to go to ashleyblacksystems.com, ashleyblacksystems.com. Check out the About page in particular. Start with the backstory. I'm not sure if you want people to start there, but I looked at the site, and I encourage people to start there. But there's so much content, great information, great tools to help people. Final thoughts there, Chris Kidd. By the way, you can learn more about Chris at chriskidd.com.
I think the whole system is amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to trying out the gifts that you brought us, because, man, I've had back pain for years, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this works.
Well, I'm looking forward to helping you, and anyone out there who's kind of tried everything and is exacerbated, just go check out the website. It really is common sense, and there's some great support products that can kind of help you to address your own injuries.
Yep, I think people need to do that. Shame on them if they don't. Make sure you check out over there at ashleyblacksystems.com. And, of course, learn more about Chris Kidd at chriskidd.com. Do want to remind you that best content here can be found over there, including this great interview, at usdailyreview.com. And I got a feeling that you'll probably be producing some content to accompany the audio for this over there at usdailyreview.com, Chris.
Yes, we will. We're working on that.
Yeah, it'll be great. And thanks to both of you. And when we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you again, best content at usdailyreview.com. Do want to mention to make sure you like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. We'll be back for more right after this on The Price of Business.